What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we got a story time of this kid who just goes absolutely insane when he knows that the subscriber watches Haminations animation videos on YouTube. Like, basically, this kid, the subscriber has a birthday party and has to invite everyone in his class to come. It's a rule of the school. You have to invite everyone or you can't invite anyone. So this kid comes and the subscriber at his own birthday party decides to like take a little break and watch a new YouTube video, a new animation video. And this kid actually goes insane on him. And it's actually a really funny story that I know you guys will enjoy. So leave a like on the video right now, and if you leave a like on the video, you will receive your very own free, absolutely free, nothing at all. It's a really great deal, so you better leave a like right now. Obviously, subscribe if you're new and like story videos, and with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call a subscriber who submitted the story Jake. So anyways, Jake was turning 14 years old and he was having a birthday party. So Jake went to a school where the class size actually wasn't that big. Probably had like 20 or so people in his class, so they were pretty small classes. And for that reason, there was a rule at the school that you had to invite literally everyone in your class. Basically, the idea behind this rule was that like kids, especially when they're younger, because this rule didn't exist like when you got into like 8th grade or 7th grade or later on, but definitely in the earlier grades, the rule basically existed because, you know, if everyone in someone's class gets invited to a birthday party and you don't, then when they talk about how awesome that birthday party was the next day, you're definitely going to feel a little bit left out. So this rule, it makes sense, I guess, but it's also a little bit annoying because I feel like with your birthday party, like, you should be able to have exactly who you want there and not have to invite random people. And also, what if someone is actually the biggest jerk ever? What if someone is actually like a massive bully in the class? You have to invite them now? Well, according to this school, you do. But anyways, right, so Jake was turning 14, and he basically liked everyone in his class. There's a few kids he didn't really know that well, and a few kids who kind of kept to themselves. And one of the kids that, you know, Jake didn't really know that well is, we're going to call this kid Ben. Ben really had no strikes against him. What I mean by that is it's not like Ben had a history of being insane or doing crazy things. As you will see in this story, he has a pretty strong reaction to the subscriber Jake liking a YouTuber, like just enjoying an animation YouTuber. Like this kid actually gets so mad at the fact that like Jake is allowed to like YouTube videos. It's actually kind of crazy. Anyways though, so yeah, this kid, Ben, he didn't really know that well, but there's a handful of kids, including Ben, that he didn't really know that well, that he was obligated to invite, and he really didn't care. He thought it was fine. You know, he had like a little gathering for his birthday with his family and his like 2 best friends, but he really didn't mind that his party was going to have a bunch of random people he didn't know that well, because, you know, it was more like party games or whatever where everyone can enjoy it, and it's not like, oh, I don't know you that well, therefore I can't enjoy it. Yeah, it would have been definitely a little bit awkward if Ben was invited to like the super only friends and like tight friends and family only celebration. Yeah, that would have been a little awkward, but for the birthday party, he didn't really care. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, that Saturday was when the birthday was. The invitation was sent out about a week before, and I'd say like 95% of the kids RSVP'd yes that they would come. And Ben was included in one of them. At the time, the subscriber, Jake, really didn't think anything of this, because as I said before, Ben wasn't really known as a crazy kid at that point. Or at least, yeah, there was no reason to think that, so we didn't actually think anything of it. Anyways, though, so let's jump ahead to the day of the party. So the party was actually pretty good, or pretty cool. They held it in a mall. So there was a mall near them, and in this mall, there was this arcade slash roller skating like hybrid store, not store, company, business, whatever you want to call it. Basically, they had this whole roller skating rink, and then they also had like an arcade, and then they also had like a laser tag thing. It was kind of designed for birthday parties, but normal people could just hang out in there as well. It's just if you had a birthday party, you could register with them, and they had a room in the back where you could have like the birthday cake, and you could store all the presents and all that good stuff. However, there were other people at the kind of the arcade area, other people roller skating. It was actually a really cool thing. And it's funny that the subscriber submitted this because I have something pretty similar to this near me, except there isn't any roller skating. Near me, there's an arcade laser tag combo type thing, and it's really sick. Someone actually knew how to birthday party there. It's probably one of my favorite birthday parties I've ever been to. Anyways, right, so people start coming in, and, you know, they're showing up, and Jake's pretty excited, and the party commences. So people are able to go roller skating. They're able to play in the arcade whenever they want to. And, the laser tag event only happens twice during the party, but everything else you can kind of hop in and out of whenever you want. You can go to the front desk, you can get roller skates in your size, you can go and get tokens or whatever. Everyone at the party was given like 4 tokens or something because they bought like in bulk. At least Jake's mom bought like a party size bag of tokens, and it was evenly distributed so that basically everyone could get 4. And then you could go get your own if you wanted to play more games, just in case someone didn't come with money or couldn't afford it, they could still play some games. Anyways, though, so things were going really well, and things were pretty chill. But, I don't know if you guys feel this, but sometimes your social battery just runs out. I know definitely someone like me, like my social battery runs out quite often. Like, don't get me wrong, one of my favorite things is to hang out with my friends and to hang out with big groups of people and to meet new people. I do genuinely enjoy that, but at the same time, there will just be a point where I hit a brick wall and I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, I don't care if my best friend's in the room and there's like something I really want to talk to them about. At that moment, I genuinely don't want to talk to them. It has nothing to do with them. It's honestly just that my social batteries ran out. Anyways, though, so yeah, at this point, the subscriber, his social battery kind of ran out, and he just kind of knows for him that if he just like slips away, watches a YouTube video, maybe plays a round or two of like video games on his phone, such as, I don't know, Clash Royale or something, that he will be able to regen his social battery really quickly. For me, once my social battery runs out, I'm basically out for the count, so I will literally just go back to my dorm room and go to bed, man. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too much, but when it does, I'm like, oh, and I am out for the night. Anyways, though, so the subscriber decides to kind of step aside. He sits at one of the big tables that was ready for people to go in when they're going to blow out the candles and the cake and all that kind of good stuff. And basically, he just goes on his phone, pulls out YouTube, and he sees a notification from Haminations. I don't know exactly when this happened, but it must have been on a day that Haminations, like, released a new video. I received this DM kind of recently, so maybe this just happened, because I know that he dropped a new animation recently, but honestly, it could have happened at any time when he dropped an animation. Anyways, though, so yeah, sure enough, right, the subscriber whips out his phone and he sees a notification, or at least on his homepage, so maybe it wasn't the day it dropped, but a new animation from this channel called Haminations. If you don't know, it's a really big animation YouTuber, and yeah, he makes some pretty good stuff. When I used to do a few live streams, I just don't really like live streaming, guys. I tried it out. But when I did a few live streams, we'd actually sit down and watch some of them for a little bit. I think I actually got a copyright notice to, like, not do that anymore or something. Anyways, though, so yeah, he was on his phone and he was watching one of the animation videos when Ben, the kid, wasn't even, like, coming up to him. He just must have been walking from point A to point B and must have noticed that the subscriber, what do I call him? Jake? Yeah, the Jake was kind of sitting there watching a YouTube video. So Ben must have overheard it and, like, because he stopped. He literally just stopped in his tracks. Like, almost like in a cartoonish way in a sense. And he comes over and he looks at Jake, and he's like, Jake, what are you watching right now? And Jake's like, oh, just a new YouTube video. He's like, from who? And he said it in such a weirdly ominous way that Jake kind of knew that something was up. So Jake was like, Haminations, it's a YouTube. He's like, I know who that is. And Jake was just super taken off guard by, like, just how aggressive he was in this situation. So Jake is kind of just like, okay, do you like him? Which apparently was, like, the worst thing to say to this kid. Because Ben literally is, like, standing by the table. And you hear, boom! And he, like, pounds his fist against the table. And he's like, Haminations is literally the Antichrist. And Jake is like, ahaha, because Jake thought he was joking, bro. I mean, if you're actually going around saying that some random animation YouTuber is the Antichrist, then, bro, you're either clinically insane or dropping a joke that didn't really land. Bro, if that's your joke, I'm not going to lie, like, maybe you shouldn't go into stand-up, but thankfully for you, there's a lot of other ways to make a living besides stand-up. All I got to say, if that's your opening joke, then maybe stand-up isn't the route for you. Yeah, so anyways, right, Jake, after kind of doing a little funny laugh, kind of quickly goes kind of quiet because he realizes that this kid is actually not joking. He realizes that this kid might actually genuinely believe that Haminations, some random, like, kid who animates, bro, is actually the Antichrist. Like, I don't know how someone actually comes to that conclusion, but yeah, pretty shocking. Anyways, though, so Ben is like, put down that phone now and unsubscribe from him now. And Jake's like, dude, what? He's like, okay, I warned you, and Ben storms off. So at this point, Jake is genuinely super confused because he's just like, wait a minute, what? First of all, he just asked for clarification when Ben said, unsubscribe and stop watching that video. Like, he just asked for clarification because it was just such a weird command. And honestly, at this point, Jake was just so confused by this situation. He was probably thinking to himself, okay, maybe this is like some kind of joke or something, and the kid just isn't really that funny. I hate to say it. But no, in fact, it turned out that this kid not just being not that funny, but was actually insane and thought that Haminations was genuinely the Antichrist. And then he says to unsubscribe and then storms off into another room. So at this point, Jake is like, okay, well, now I know this kid's a little bit weird, but I'm going to go back to watching my YouTube video because my social battery was regenerating, but just that interaction brought it down like negative 200%. So I actually might have to stay here for a second and just kind of chill out. Anyways, about 5 minutes later, Jake's mom comes over to him, or not Jake's mom, sorry. One of Jake's friends comes over to him. He's like, Jake, you might want to follow me for a second. So at this point, somehow Jake just had an intuition that it had to do with Ben. Jake actually doesn't exactly know how he knew this to be true, which it is, by the way, but he just had some intuition that something had to do with Ben. And yeah, Ben was having a complete, utter meltdown in the other room because Jake was a fan of Haminations. Yeah, it makes no sense to me either, guys. I really don't know. But yeah, basically, Ben was having like a freaking mental breakdown, bro. It was actually insane. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, I want you to comment Ben down below. That'll be the secret word, and let me know how many people actually made it this far into the video. And by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe with notifications on. And if you're watching this on, or listening to, or watching, I guess, on Spotify, make sure that you rated the podcast 5 stars, you're following it, and also answer the poll question that pops up. I think that does help. And also, I just want to say, finally, thank you to everyone who's been binge watching the videos. Basically, when I say that, either on YouTube or Spotify or both, basically when you sit down and watch a bunch of my videos at once, whether you're sleeping, playing video games, really doesn't matter, actually helps out the channel so much. So please leave in the comment section or reply to the question on Spotify telling me exactly basically what you guys do while binge watching these videos, just so I can see and say thank you. And with that being said, yeah, let's just jump right back into it because Ben is actually going crazy right now. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, they walk into the next room, or they don't walk to the next room. They walk in kind of the center place of the arcade, and they hear this, like, smashing noise, and they see a couple, like, kids looking into the private room. Remember earlier when I said that, like, anyone is allowed into any of your rooms, except for one room, which was the private room, which you were renting out. Basically, you'd rent that out to be able to kind of, like, host people at your birthday party. You'd be able to have, like, a table. That's where the presents would go. That's where the presents would go. Yep, that's where I'm going, guys. Anyways, so they're all looking in, and Jake goes over, and he sees Ben in that room screaming and throwing presents. He goes up to a present, picks it up, and boom, drop kicks it, breaking whatever's inside. It flies across the room and hits the wall. He picks up another present, has it over his head, and he's like, oh, I hate Haminations, and slams it on the ground with such force. Honestly, if anything in there wasn't like a stuffed animal or something like that, you know, is kind of soft or squishy, it definitely broke into 1,000 pieces. So anyways, at some point, some parent notices this and basically calls for Jake's mom. So a few parents, including Jake's mom, go over there, including Ben's mom. So Ben's mom is like, Ben, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm angry. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Grabs Ben by his ear and literally drags him out of there. So everyone who's like at the arcade or doing like the roller skating or whatever literally stops what they're doing, including random people at the place, onlookers, are just watching as Ben is dragged out by the ear. And she's like, I can't believe this happened again, Ben. Like another birthday party? You're getting kicked out of another birthday party? This is why we can't have anything nice as a family. And then they leave the door. They literally just leave after saying that. And at this point, Jake kind of looks at his friends, and they're all kind of looking at each other. And Jake's mom's like, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. Like, I think some of your presents got destroyed. And Jake's like, dude, it's kind of not that deep. Like, it's fine.